All right, we're gonna start, okay? Can you see my screen? Yes, right?
Yes,
Yes.
teacher.
All right. So, as I told you, we're gonna practice. We're gonna get into a practice. It is a simulator of the B2 first exam, okay? We're gonna focus tonight on the use of English part. Specifically, it is the grammar part, okay? Let me grant access to your classmates just for a while. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's go over the multiple choice. Reset this one here. Okay. Yeah. This is the multiple choice, and as you remember, in this part you have to decide what is the right answer, A, B, C, or D. Okay? In this case, it's like this. Okay, let me grant access to the rest of the guys. Okay. Welcome back, dear students. Okay, we're gonna start. Okay, please, who can help me out reading the first part up to the number one? The blank number one. Okay, can you help me out reading, please, Ariel? Please help me out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hospitality. In hospitality, looking after visitors is universal, but in different culture hosts are all expected. No, sorry, I understood. Are expected to
Hosts. Okay.
receive guests in different ways. In much of the ancient um,
Yeah.
world,
In the ancient world, do you think Earth, globe, or planet? Yeah, for sure it is world, right? For sure. Continue, please, Camila. It was.
It was the custom to provide passing travelers with food and water and look after them well. Indeed, in some
Indeed.
regions, indeed, in some regions, if visitors were in the middle of a long journey, servants would wash their feet.
So
Today,
what
some old customs have
have existed, have supported, have survived, or have preserved? And the idea finished there. Just let me grant
mm,
access to my. Okay, yeah. So there you are the options. What do you think? Today, some old customs have existed, have supported, have survived, or preserved?
preserved.
What do you think? The rest of you.
I
Survive.
between preserve and survive.
Yeah,
And
for sure. And those actually one of those is the right answer. What do you think is proper? Which one sounds more natural? Survived, have survived, or have preserved? What do you think?
for me, preserve. I'm sure.
Okay, preserved. Let's just preserve. And at the end, this simulator is going to get us the answers, all right? Continue, please, my dear Abigail. In a traditional,
In a traditional Japanese household, if a guest admires a particular object in the house, the host will
the host will what? Let me see. Will consider to give it to the guests right away. To fancy, will provide, or will want.
consider.
Do you think it is considered? What do you think, the rest of you guys? It is considered.
I
Okay,
think could be provide.
provide. Okay, provide it cannot be. Why? Because it is very common to use provide with the preposition with. Provide with. So in this case, not. Fancy, it cannot be as well. Fancy. Because this is an adjective. So we're between consider and want. Okay, in a traditional Japanese household, if a guest admires a particular object in the house, the host will consider to give it to the guests right away, or maybe will want to give it.
Want.
Yes, okay. It's just one.
Mm.
Continue, please, Paulo. And it is still typical.
And it, it is still typical in parts of Russia to greet guests with bread and salon, a special cloth. The guest is
The guest is required to kiss them, is demanded to kiss them, is desired to kiss them, or needed to kiss them.
mm, needed.
Okay, do you think so?
Mm,
It could be needed.
Yes.
Okay, okay, I'm
Mm,
gonna choose this. Do you agree with that? Okay, guys, do you agree with needed, or do you think it could be another one? Okay, let's speak up needed. Okay, needed. So the guess is needed to kiss them. Yeah, I don't think so. It doesn't sound more lateral. But anyways, and hand them back to the host. Sometimes the guest breaks in, breaks off, breaks down, or breaks out a small piece of breath. What do you think is the particle that is missing here in this phrasal verb? Breaks in for
It
sure, not.
break down.
Break down is to escape, so not right. No, break down it means to escape, to get away. So it cannot be. In as well, not. We're between break off or break out. What do you think it could be? Break off or break out? A piece of paper, a piece of bread, sorry, a small piece of bread. Let's imagine that you are performing in the real exam and you have to, right? You have to decide. You have no choice. Which one would you choose? Break off or break out?
I would choose breakout.
Okay, breakout. Ariel says that it is breakout. So let's follow his advice. In the salt and eats it. In some countries, when foreign guests, when alien, not for sure, when unfamiliar or when strange guests arrive from abroad. What do you think?
Foreign.
Foreign, perfect. There was no other option possible. Okay, arrive from abroad, they may feel they have been given a particularly heavy meal, dense meal, a white meal, or a strong meal. For sure, we have to discuss, as we are talking about meal, we have to discuss white and strong. It cannot be. So, what do you think? It could be dense or heavy? A heavy meal or a dense meal? Sorry?
dense milk.
Okay, do you think so, the other guys? Do you think that it could be a dense meal?
Heavy.
Heavy, right? Okay. But this is probably because the host politely keeps on offering more food and drink. The guest is too embarrassed to. This is a very useful phrasal verb, and as far as I remember, we dealt with it on a previous lesson. Just let me grant access to your classmate, sorry. Okay, welcome back, Vanessa. Okay, so the last one, number 8. Too embarrassed to keep anything down, to slow anything down, to take anything down, or to turn anything down. What is a phrasal verb that means to reject something? Reject, basically. Okay, which one would you choose? Okay, tell me please. Skip, slow, take, or turn? Okay, let's pick up according to the context, but this is probably because the host politely, right? He's very kind, politely, keeps on offering, keeps going offering more food and drink. And the guest, right, for being politely, is too embarrassed to reject anything. So what is the phrasal verb?
To turn,
Turn? I didn't hear you so well. Turn or take?
turn, to turn.
Turn anything down, okay? So let's take a look at the answers. As you can see here, we have like one, two, three, three, three answers that are incorrect out of eight. Okay, the first one is correct, world. The second one is survived. That was the one that best fits here because it sounds weird. So some old customs have preserved, but by who? By whom? Right? So they have survived throughout the time. And then you have the guest is required to kiss them, right? Se le pide al invitado que, right? It is not needed, it is required. And then it breaks off. Why is breaks off here? Because this is basically when you remove something, maybe specifically a piece of something from a whole, from a unit. In this case, the unit is the breath, so you remove it from it. And that is why it breaks off. Okay. So far, regarding this exercise, do you have any questions? No. No, I hope so. So in that case, let's continue. Let's practice another one. It's the same, right? Multiple choice. Okay, number one is the choices are these ones. Okay, so please, Adela, can you help me reading the first part?
According to popular US tradition, the hog,
Hawk, yes.
a
That is an animal.
small furry,
Yeah.
uh, a small furry animal, comes out and eats win- winter sleep on 2nd February.
Yes.
If the sky is clear, he sees his shadow. This means there are going to be 6 more weeks of
Of root, of sugar, eel, or on water. Clima. By the way, groundhog is it's an animal. Marmota. Es una marmota. Groundhog. Okay. So this means that there are going to be 6 more weeks of real weather, severe weather, ill weather. No, it sounds weird. In or out weather. So what do you think when it comes to weather for sure? And he returns to his hole.
I'm thinking about between rude and severe,
Yeah, actually, the answer is between those options.
but to me, it's more natural to say rude weather. But I don't know if it's correct.
Okay. Do you agree with Ariel?
I agree.
Okay. So let's check Ariel. Okay. Continue, please. Abigail, if the day is cloudy,
If the day is cloudy and he can't see his shadow, it means there will be
It means that there will be an advanced spring, an early spring, an immature spring, or an head spring.
early.
Okay, continue please. Each year,
Spring and he stays above ground. Each year, reporters,
Punxsutawney is a place, right? Specifically where it is, I think it's in Pennsylvania, but I
Pennsylvania.
haven't heard. But anyways,
Mhm.
so every single year, reporters group in that place, crowd in that place, gather in that place, or combine in that place. For sure, we have to describe one by one. Combine in that place, not for sure. Crowd in that place, I don't think so. Yeah. So we're
Group.
between group or gather.
Mm,
Sorry, teacher. What's the meaning of gather?
Reunirse. That is the
Uh,
meaning of gather. So
Thank you.
I think it's gather, right? Yes, reporters they gather in that place, Punxsutawney, in Pennsylvania, at down in a large sum of cameras, number of cameras, total of cameras, or quantity of cameras are focused on the burrow of a groundhog.
mm.
What do you think it could be?
Mm.
Is it difficult?
Quantity.
I'm thinking about some number, but not pretty sure.
Number of cameras. Yes?
Mm.
Yeah, let's pick up number of cameras. It is the one that sounds more natural. Sum of cameras for sure not. Quantity of cameras as well not. A large total of cameras. No, it is a large number of cameras. It sounds better. So let's keep moving on to the next part. That is the burrow of a groundhog called Punxsutawney Phil. In 1993, the Hollywood movie Groundhog Day took Phil into, took him, that person, into a major celebrity, became that person into a major celebrity, got Phil into a major celebrity, or turned Phil into a major celebrity. What
It
is the
could
phrase?
be became, maybe.
Sorry, what? Which one?
Became.
It is actually the phrasal verb that means become, but it's turned. It is a phrasal verb that means to become. Yeah. Turned into, turn someone or something into means to become. That is actually. Okay, so don't forget, turned into. Okay, that is why this kind of exercise is very tricky because you could just became into. That is incorrect. The phrasal verb is turned into. That means to become. Okay, so we continue. Number six. So this turned Phil into a major celebrity. In the following February, over 40,000 people came on in Punxsutawney, turned up, called off, or looked over. These are all of these are phrasal verbs.
Look over,
Do you think it could be look over?
or maybe call off.
Called off means to cancel something, to cancel. So it cannot be. Look over means to take a look at something, to revise something. So it cannot be as well. So these people came on or turned up in that place. What do you think?
Could we turn up?
Turn up, okay? Let's find out at the end. Unfortunately, still, large crowds of people were hoping for a prediction of good weather, or maybe despite, or maybe otherwise, or maybe although. This one is very, very tricky. We need here a connector, a linking word to contrast the ideas.
Despite.
Okay, despite. Let's choose despite, says Abigail. Okay. And the last one. Phil saw his shadow and returned to his hole. So everyone knew that winter was going to, let me see here, was going to last for a few more weeks, was going to rest, was going to hold, or was going to exist for a few more weeks.
I guess it could be last. That's
Yes,
for them.
that is the only one actually. Yeah. So let's take a look at it. Okay, this time only two answers were incorrect. The first one is, don't forget please, is the collocation severe weather. Always. Severe weather. Don't forget, it's a collocation. And the last one is although. Aunque. Although. And that's it. The other one was gather, turn up. Turn up means to arrive. Okay? The phrasal verb turn up means to arrive somewhere. So regarding this exercise specifically, do you have any questions? Do you want to know why is every single answer maybe? Or is it everything clear? No? Any questions? Okay. All right. Let's go over the open close. In this part, as you know, you have to think of a proper word, only one word, that best fits every single gap, okay? In here we have no options, we have to think of a proper answer, okay? It says, Valentino Rossi, born on February the 16th in 1979 in Italy, Urbino, is, then we have Italian professional motorcycle road racer and multiple MotoGP world champion. So what do you think is the word that is missing here?
In Italian?
Yes, an Italian professional. Perfect. Number two, Rossi is of the greatest motorcycle racers of all time.
One.
One.
Nice.
One.
Well,
One of the greatest. The next one. With 9 Grand Prix World Championships to his name, 7 of are in the primary class. The relative clauses. Here we need the relative clauses. All of these words that are why, when, which, who, whom, when. Do you remember? 7 of are in the primary class.
Which?
Wait, perfect. Nice. So Rossi is also the only road racer to, number 4, competed in 400 more or more Grand Prix.
To have computed?
Perfect, astonishing, my dear Ariel. He has ridden with the number 46 his entire career, including the years he was defending his title. Another relative close here.
When?
Nice. When he was defending his title. He also owns the Sky Racing Team VR46, which participated in the Moto 2 and Moto 3 classes. Considered to be the best rider ever, Rose's record is brilliant. He's still the rider in history to win the World Championships. Number 6.
The
Sorry, can you repeat it again?
best,
The best? Do you agree with Paulo? Do you think it is still the best rider in history to win? Or it could be another word?
Only
The only? Okay, the only rider. Let's pick up that. And he was, number 7, he was prolific in his first 9 seasons. MotoGP level between 2002 and 2010. We need a preposition of place here. So he was prolific in these first 9 seasons in MotoGP. But we're talking about level. What is the correct preposition that we need, that we have to use with level? In, on, at. What do you think?
on.
On MotoGP level? Okay, let's choose this one. And this one is very easy. Winning 6 championships, including 4 in a row. And there you are, 2 years. What is the word that is missing here? So he won 6 championships in this period of time, within this period of time. So included in a 4 in a row, 2002 and 2005.
Between?
Between, perfect. Nice. Okay, let's take a look at here, and there you are. Yeah, it is only one answer. Perfect, guys. When it comes to talking about level, we have, remember always we have to use the preposition at level. For example, you are at B2 level right now. That's your current level of English, for example. Yeah, at level. Don't forget. Okay, let's go over another one. This is all about Albert Einstein, okay? Please help me out reading the first part, Camila. Albert Einstein. Are you there?
Albert Einstein is one of the best known scientists of the 20th centuries.
20th century, yeah.
Yet he was not
What do you think it
a
was?
particular good student.
Okay, a particularly good student. At school in Munich, Einstein got fairly good grades, very good grades, in nearly subjects. It was excellent in mathematics and physics. It is in nearly, in almost subjects.
Some
In nearly some? Or what about all? All
it
right,
could be
nearly in, right, almost all the subjects. And he was an excellent student in mathematics and physics. But however, he disliked doing, he was told. So he didn't like doing, he was told.
What he was told?
Yes,
What?
what he was told. He didn't like exams and did he like attending classes? So he left the school early.
And study
Sorry, what word did you say?
and study.
No, remember that it's only one word. No, because I didn't get it so well.
Study.
Study. In study did he like? Do you think so? What do you think, the rest of you?
Also,
Okay, it could be also. Okay, so he left the school early. Number 5. Here is at the very beginning of the sentence. Failing the entrance exam, Einstein was eventually admitted to. Okay, so let's go over first with number 5. What do you think is the word that is missing here?
It could be also or a synonym.
It is, we need a linking word, but to contrast. For example, like although, despite, however.
It
What do
could
you think?
be
Despite
Despite,
instead.
perfect. Despite failing, a pesar de, right? Despite failing the entrance exam, Einstein was eventually admitted to Swiss Federal Institute of Technology in 1896. I'm gonna provide you with a clue. In here we need an article.
it could be the
Perfect. The Swiss Federal Institute of Technology. Although he did it well, he was to get a job at university after graduation, mainly because he was thought to be very lazy. But instead, he worked in a secondary school. He taught maths and physics, both of which he was good in, that is all. So number 7. It says that he worked in a secondary school. One more time, we need a relative clause here.
where?
Where, perfect. Where he taught mathematics and physics, both of which he was good. A preposition here.
At.
At, perfect. Nice, my dear Adele. Thank you so much. Okay, so you can see here. Okay, only one. Why? Because it says he didn't like, it is in negative. If it was in positive form, it could be proper to write also, or maybe two. But in this case, as he says, he didn't like exams, and neither or nor. That is the correct part, okay? Neither or nor. So he neither did he like attending classes. And that's it. Okay, do you have any questions regarding this part? All right. I don't think so. Let's go with another one. Predicting an earthquake. Please help me reading the first part, Paula, please, okay? Let's go.
It has long been known that some animals behave differently before an earthquake. People, mm,
And then we have a verb in past participle, seen. First jump out of the water.
Have.
Have seen, okay. Present perfect, right? What do
Have.
Sorry, have or had? What did you say? Have, right? Okay. We
Have.
jump out of the water onto dry land. It might appear days before quakes. In December 1974, Chinese scientists began to receive reports of snakes coming out of hibernation and freezing to death before a series of mirror tremors. So, what is the preposition that we need to connect to verbs?
To.
To. Perfect. Began to receive these kind of things. The following months, reports were received from the city of Madam. Sorry, I don't know what is the name. Madam Ali, right? Of cattle in horses which become restless and were much. Number three. What do you think it could be here? By the way, the word restless is an adjective that means inquieto or inquietos, inquietas. It depends on the person, on the subject. Please take your time to analyze this paragraph and let me know when you are ready.
It could be will become.
Will become? I don't think so because we're talking about the past. Do you remember when we are talking like if we are telling a story from the past? What is the tense that we used to have? Is the past perfect? So we need those horses that have become restless, right? That is correct. And were much. Do you remember the intensifiers to emphasize to make it stronger? Frightened, scared. So they were much frightened to enter the buildings. Number four.
It could be much more.
Or what about too? Much too frightened? Or maybe much more frightened? What do you think? When it is very excessive, we use too. Okay? Much more is like less strong. Yeah? So in that case we use much too. Because when it is so excessive, it is a great deal of something. Okay? So they were too much too frightened to enter the buildings, which sheltered them at night, which protected them at night. And as a result, city leaders evacuated entire city. Number five, very easy. Which one is the word that is missing here? The entire city. The entire city, the whole city. Soon after, a major earthquake struck and countless lives were saved. And then we have then, in a comma. It is an introductory phrase. It is like a connector. Number 6. It is a very
It could be also or despite.
no, no, no. In this case, no. We use those phrases for contrasts, for contrasting. Do you remember? It is very similar to the phrase "ever since." Desde. It is since then. That means exactly the same. Desde entonces. Since then, China has suffered a number of major quakes, which they were not as prepared. Number 7. So they were not prepared
Two.
for for that. So they were not prepared for prepared for. Okay. So nevertheless, sin embargo, the Chinese have demonstrated that earthquakes don't always strike without warning. And the last one, number 8, is a fact that some animals are very sensitive to magnetic fields, and therefore they may be able to detect the seismic activity which comes before an earthquake. So what do you think it could be number 8? I'm gonna give you a clue. In here we need a pronoun. A pronoun. So what do you think it could be the proper pronoun that is missing here?
It.
It. Nice. It. This time you did it well. Okay, all of them are correct. Perfect. Okay, now it's time to go over the word formation part. Okay, in this part you have the words in brackets that you have to change into a new version of the same word in order to best fit the gaps, okay? Can you help me out please with the first part? And this time, let me see. Ariel, please. In the not too distant.
Okay, food production. In the not too distant past, farm animals were able to live natural lives in what we would now term free range conditions. Such farming methods, however, were not able to supply the rapidly growing population of the world and the increasing demands on the food mm, consuming.
Yeah, the first one you did it well. It was population, right, of the world, and the increasing demands on food. Do you think it's what?
I was thinking with ing consuming, but
No, it is not consuming. It is the noun.
Consumed.
Consumed as well, not. Have you ever heard about this one?
consumer.
Consumption. El consumo, consumption, right? Demands on food consumption. Okay. In order to to deal with this rising demand, factory farming methods were introduced along with the interior developed.
Development.
Yes, development. That is automatically on your mind. Development. Okay. Of genetically engineered interior growth hormones. How do you say hormonas de
Grow.
crecimiento? Just you told what?
Growing.
In this case, I tell you is growth. Growth hormones. Okay. And these ones resulted in a massive increase in food production. However, these developments in the use of factory farming in drug near your quit. What do you think it could be?
Treatment.
Perfect. Treatment. And this treatment have led to a widespread feeling that animals are being caused a lot of distress, and that the quality of food is the food itself suffers as a consequence. So certainly many people in there you are agree. Certainly many people with the idea of keeping animals in one building for the entire. What do you think it could be here? What is the negative form of agree?
Disagree.
Disagree.
Disagree, perfect. Okay, and number 7. So they disagree with the idea of keeping these animals in one building for the entire exist
Existence?
existence. Perfect. The entire existence, and argue that more emphasis should be given to alternate farming methods.
Alternative.
Alternative, perfect. Alternative farming methods. So let's take a look at it. Great. All of them are right. Population, consumption, development, growth, disagree, and like that. Okay. I tell you, if you choose the computer based, the exam, right? The real exam is going to be something very similar like this as we're working on right now. Okay. It's very, very similar like this. Let's go over another one. This is all about dress code. Please, Abigail, UK companies. Abigail, please.
UK companies
Yeah.
have received criticisms from a business forum for what they report refers to as a rather narrow-minded attitude towards the dress code for office workers. This follows a case in which a male
There you are employed.
employers
Sorry.
employers
Do you think it's employers? Do you agree with Abigail?
Maybe employed.
Employed? Let me show you this part, okay? Sorry. Employee. There you are. It's a male employee, empleado, right? So it's a male employee. It is not employer.
Mhm.
It doesn't exist. So employee working in the post room of a large company in the United Kingdom received a in there you are suspend.
Suspension.
Suspension, perfect. Nice. Suspension for wearing jeans to working in the post room of a large sorry, jeans to work. Yeah. So he received a suspension for wearing jeans to work. While the report accepts that there is need for people dealing with interior custom.
Customers?
Customers, perfect. Nice. Customers to look well dressed. It questions whether employees who work behind the scenes necessarily need to dress formally. So the authors of the report made a very easy
Comparison.
comparison. Thank you so much, Pablo. Between the UK and other European nations where employers assume in their concern. We need a prefix here.
Unconcerned.
Yes, unconcerned. It's an adjective. Unconcerned about the need for their workers to wear smart clothes, elegant clothes, formal clothes in the office. There, there you are, argue is based on research that claims workers are far more
Argument.
arguments perfect. Their argument is based on research that claims workers are far more your products when they have the number 7
Production.
productive.
Productive.
Yes, productive when they have the free to dress in a way that they feel most comfortable in.
Freedom.
Freedom. Nice, perfect right there. Okay, so let's give it a go. And yes, all of them are correct. So don't forget employee, suspension, customers, and concerned or unconcerned, argument, comparison, productive, freedom. Okay, in this kind of exercise, you have to be very careful without making mistakes, spelling mistakes. Okay, you have to pay close attention in order not to make spelling mistakes, because if you make a spelling mistake, you are out. All right. So let's go over the keyword transformation part. That actually is one of the most hard. It is the hardest part of the use of English section. Okay, as you know, here is the keyword that is in pink in here. Here is the original sentence, and here you have to paraphrase the sentence. Remember, we have to use only between 2 and 5 words, no more than that. Okay, the first sentence, the keyword first is the preposition as. So, Laura is a lot older, is much older than Frederick, right? So Frederick is what?
As older as.
Are you sure? Is older as Laura? Because it says that Laura is a lot older than
Hmm.
Frederick.
It could be not older as.
Yes, is as not older
Hmm.
as Laura. Okay, it could be, right? Number 2, we have the keyword apart. So the original sentence says that the only person Philip didn't like was his boss, right? So Philip liked everyone, his boss. It says that the only person that he didn't like was his boss. So Philip liked everyone. Do you remember this is a collocation actually, a fixed expression? I'm gonna tell you. Apart from, or except from, that means the same. Okay, aparte de su jefe. The next one, please. Widely, right? There is another verb. So fewer people read Brian's books these days. So Brian's books are what? These days. Nowadays.
Are widely.
Are, it says that fewer people, less people. What do you think? It is just like that as you told me, my dear Paulo, but in negative.
and
Are,
not widely.
yes, are not as widely, right? Are not read as widely read these days. So Brian's books are not as widely read these days. The next one. We have swimmer. So Samantha doesn't swim nearly as well as Tom. So she's not so really good at swimming as Tom. So Tom is we need here a comparative, a phrase for comparison. So Tom is first of all because it says nearly. Okay, so it means that it is. We have to make an emphasis in here. So Tom is a much better, es mucho mejor, but what? Is a much better swimmer. And what is the word that is missing here?
Done.
Down. Perfect. Down, Samantha. Okay. The next one. Been. Have you been to Paris recently, Jane? Asked Tony. This is the reported speech. So Tony asked Jane to what? Okay, please take your time, please analyze it because I want you to try it by yourselves, okay? And whenever you have an idea, let me know.
It could be Tony asked Jane if she has been to Paris recently.
Almost there, almost there. If she had been to Paris. Si ella había estado en París recently. Okay? That is. Because you have in the reported speech the present perfect. In the reported speech, you have to change into the past perfect. So don't forget that. If she had been to Paris recently. And the last one. We have the keyword less. So rock music isn't nearly as popular as it was 10 years ago. So rock music is less what? Let me know when you have an idea.
It had to be with exactly less, or it could be lesser.
No, no. The keyword you don't have to change. Never. The keyword goes exactly like it is. Would you want to say that it could be less or maybe much less, but not lesser?
Less popular.
Yes, less popular. And here is missing the magic word
Than.
down. Nice. So let's take a look at the answer. Okay. In this case, we cannot say older. Why? Because if we write older, the comparative, it means that we need the magic word down. And it is not possible here. So, okay, so we're working on this part, okay? I was telling you that it was not as old as, only the adjective, or maybe not nearly as old as, okay? Personally, I would choose the first one. So Frederick is not as old as her, right? It's just like that. Okay, the second one is right. Third one is right. Are not as widely read these days. Is a much better swimmer down if she had been, and less popular down. Okay, so don't forget, if you write a comparative, you have to use down. In this case, it's not possible. Do you have any questions so far regarding this part? Maybe, perhaps, or not. Okay, so in that case, let's practice another one. Alright, this one is a little bit harder. Okay, so we have as the keyword hardly. So the theater was practically empty. So there was what? There was hardly a theater. Please take your time, analyze the original sentence, and try to paraphrase the second one. Okay, let me grant access to your classmates. Okay, so here we go again. Okay, yes. So the theater was practically empty. There was no people there. Almost no people there. So there was what?
Mm, we can add empty, like hardly empty.
Hardly empty? No, in this case not. Because it says there was. There was. It doesn't have a logical meaning if we say there was hardly empty. If it was hardly empty, yes, it was. But it says there was. So there was hardly anyone or anybody were at the theater. Okay? There was hardly anyone at the theater. Almost anybody in there. Okay? The next one, we have always, the adverb of frequency, always. So my sister never asks when she borrows, sorry, my things. So my sister is doing all of the time what? So she is always doing what? It says my sister never asks me when she borrows my things.
It could be
Is always
borrows my
no.
things without asking.
Perfect. Ace. My sister is always what? Doing what? Borrowing my things, but without, right? Without asking. Without asking me. Perfect. So my sister is always borrowing my things without asking. Perfect. The next one. We have little, and traffic today doesn't move much faster than 10 years ago. So 10 years ago, traffic moved a little what? Down today. Be careful because it says faster if the other one is the other way around, the contrary. So traffic today doesn't move much faster than 10 years ago. So it means that 10 years ago, traffic moved a little
A little much faster.
is it's the antonym. So moved a little more slowly. So 10 years ago, traffic moved a little more slowly than today. You see? We play like this with the words. Because in the first one says the traffic today, nowadays, it doesn't move much faster than 10 years ago. It means that 10 years ago, the traffic, it moved a little more slowly than today. Just a little bit. And next, we have number as the keyword, so not many staff attended the meeting. So only we have number there, staff attended the meeting. Please take time to analyze this part and let me know when you have an idea.
Only a few number of staff attend.
Almost there. Almost there. A small number. Sorry, a small, let me see here, small number of staff. Small number of staff. Un pequeño número del staff, okay? There you are sooner. So he wasted no time looking for a new car. So he looked for a new car. I I know that you know this expression. So he looked for a new car, possibly good. When you try to do something as fast as you can.
As soon
Con
as
que ayuda.
Yes, as soon as he possibly could. Perfect. Thank you so much, Ariel. Any last one? The living. Peter moved here 10 years ago, right? Peter, he moved on, he moved out here 10 years ago. So Peter, okay, this is one of the perfect tenses. If we say that Peter moved here 10 years ago, it means that he's living
Peter
there.
has been living.
Yes, Peter has been living. Nice. Has been living here for 10 years. Peter has been living here for 10 years. Perfect, Camila. Okay. So let me see. Okay, 10 out of 10. Perfect. Nice. So there was hardly anyone at the theater. Okay, as you can see here, these one are the options. Okay. It could be hardly anyone at the theater is one. Hardly anyone in the theater is another one. Hardly anybody at or hardly anybody in as well. Right? All of them are possible. So he's always borrowing my things without asking. A little more slowly. A small number of the stuff as soon as he could. And has been living here for 10 years now. Okay, the next one. One more time, we have the reported speech. Okay, now you know this part. Have you been, yeah, we have been as the keyword. Have you been on holiday recently, John? Asked Mary. So Mary asked John if what? I told you in the previous exercise.
If he has been,
If he had been, don't forget, if he had been in past perfect. If you have in the reported speech the present perfect, the other one, always you should change into the past perfect. Don't forget. So Mary asked John if he had been on holiday recently. That is the correct way. The next one, we have that as the keyword. So I was too tired to go to the party. So I was what? I couldn't go to the party. Here I tell you that we don't have to use one more time to. We have to replace the other one, that is the synonym. So, so tired. Because in this kind of exercise, it plays like this. It works like this. If in the original sentence is one part, we have to change into the other way around. The antonym. Or maybe look for the another proper option that is different. So I was so tired. In what? It is very easy. I was so tired that I couldn't go to the party. They closed that. So I was so tired that I couldn't go to the party. The next one. A waste. There is no point asking Linda to help as she's really busy. Right? So it is useless asking Linda to help because she is really busy now. So it is what? We have waste. I know you know this one. This phrase. A
it is waste of time.
yes. It is a waste of time. It is a waste of time asking Linda to help as she's really busy now. Perfect. A waste of time. The next one. We have the modal verb must in this case, so I am sure it was Anne who I saw in town as I recognized her coat. So it must who, right? Anna I saw in town as I recognized her coat. Okay, I'm gonna provide you with some help. How do you say debe haber sido Ana aquí en Vida en el Pueblo? How do you say that using the modal verb must? Can you tell me? This tense is called the modal perfect tense. Do you have a clue? Do you have an idea?
Must was.
Okay, remember, when we have the modal verbs, okay, this is so important. We cannot conjugate the verbs. We cannot say must. You tell me was, that is the verb to be in past. It is not possible to say must was. It could be must be. But in this case, as I told you, it was debe haber sido. It is. It must have been. It must have been. It must have been Anna. I saw in town as I recognized her coat. So don't forget this as an expression. We use a modal verb, any of the modal verbs, might, must, should, would have, in the past participle of the verbs. Okay? That is called the modal perfect tense. Then we have seen. So we demanded to see the hotel manager to make our complaint, right? So we were looking for the hotel manager in order to make our complaint. So we have seen. So we are what? The hotel manager to make our complaint. But this is the clue. We demanded. We demanded. We wanted. We were. It was compulsory for us. It was mandatory for us to see the hotel manager. Okay, I'm gonna provide you with a clue because time is almost over. Here we need to have it. We have to replace demanded with insisted. So we insisted. And please try to complete the missing words. So we insisted. What? What is the missing part? The hotel manager to make our complaint. So please try to work out the sentence.
It could be are seen.
Yeah, so we insisted, right? Let me see here. Okay, so when you have the verb insist, in this case it's in past, always remember, always with the preposition on. Insisted or insist on something. Okay, but in this case, insisted on what is the action? Sim. Can you tell me, Ariel, why do I use here the gerund, the ing form on sing? Do you remember what I told you regarding the prepositions? What do we use here on seen using the ing form of the verb? Who can tell me? Okay, let's see. Abigail, can you tell me why do I use here the gerund, the ing form?
Mm. Demand to see the hotel manager. Mhm.
It is because you have to know this part. Don't you remember?
Mm-mm.
Okay, don't worry. Okay, so don't forget this time. We have the ing form because I use whenever you use a preposition, the next verb has to go with ing form of on seeing, on working, on playing, on reading, after of, after for, after at, after in, and so on. All of prepositions. After about, all of them are prepositions. After a preposition, all of the verbs have to go with ing form. Okay? Do not forget. Never.
Mhm. Thanks, teacher.
Okay, objection. We have objection. This is the last one. So the boss wouldn't object to you going early today. So you left early your work today. So the boss who wouldn't or would not, and there you are, objection. You going early today.
It could be make or made objection.
In this case, it is to have an objection. So in this case, the boss wouldn't have any objection, no tendría ninguna objeción. But when we use objection, this is so important. Okay, this is a collocation as well. We have objection, and always it goes along with to. Always objection to, or maybe object to someone or something. Okay, so the boss in this case haven't wouldn't have any objection to you going early today. Okay, so let's check the answers. And actually, all of them are correct. Okay, Murray asked John if he had been so tired that a waste of time must have been, insisted on a sin, and have any objection to you going early today. I was about to forget it. After you use to this expression objection to, as you can see here, you use the subject of the sentence, I mean the person, and then the verbs have to go one more time with ing for. For example, I have any objection, sorry, of you to you going this time, or maybe any objection of you making this, of you to you doing this, to you reading this, writing this. Okay, so always with ing form. Don't forget. And with this, we finish this lesson. Okay. Do you feel like this is very difficult for you still yet?
For me, yes. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, actually, that is the part that most of the students struggle with in the exam, because this is you have to be very accurate, and you have to master all of the grammar at least in a B2 level, at a B2 level. So please, let's turn on our cameras and then you can leave. Please turn on your cameras. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, my dear students, and I hope to see you the next week. Bye bye. Have a good nice